I'm making this video for people who experience winter temperatures below 45 Fahrenheit or 7 Celsius. I live in Ontario, Canada. I want to share with you how I'm going about preventing hypothermia from occurring with electric wheelchair winter driving. When you're using an electric wheelchair or a scooter for mobility, you aren't exercising. It isn't the same for your body as going for a brisk winter walk. Without the blood circulating, you begin feeling the cold much quicker. You could think about this the same as if you've seen a baby all bundled up with parents attending winter skating or an outdoors New Year's Eve event. A baby needs more protection than an adult who's getting some form of exercise. This same principle applies when relying on a mobility device. At present, I'm in the midst of 20 months of physiotherapy using a local swimming pool. With the public transit schedule, it's easiest for me if I'm able to transport myself using my electric wheelchair. The two key reasons are, first, I don't want to feel rushed when I'm changing my clothes or showering. With my physical disability, I could easily fall and hurt myself. The second reason, I also want to be able to spend the full hour of family youth swim in the pool so I'm able to work at my recovery and make the best use of the effort it took to attend the facility. Based on the public transit schedule, the most I would be able to spend in the pool is 35 minutes. The facility is a 4-kilometer or 2.5-mile drive from my home. The motors on my electric wheelchair cover this distance in 20 minutes. Then I have the same 20-minute trip home after I've completed my exercises. I need to make sure I'm safe from the cold temperature and wind chill during this winter driving. As well, I have a contingency plan for if my electric wheelchair breaks down. I do my water-based physiotherapy during the 7 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. time slot. This is designated as the family youth swim. In practical terms, I'm engaging my physiotherapy in the early evening because this is what works best for me. I first need to finish the previous night's sleep. The pain I experience causes my sleep to be broken. Once I finish my physiotherapy, I'm not productive for the rest of the day. Heading to bed for night after my physiotherapy makes sense. By attending the family and youth swim, I'm able to focus on the youth playing and take part in the games when invited. This helps me to pace myself as I do my own sets of stretches and not overdo it. Based on the pool schedule time slot I attend, the sun has already set for the evening before I even leave my home. I researched the average daily minimum temperature rating to reflect the evening temperature hours. In December, it is negative 7.3 Celsius or 18.8 Fahrenheit. In January, it's negative 11.5 Celsius or 11.3 Fahrenheit. In February, it's negative 10.3 Celsius or 13.46 Fahrenheit. And in March, it's negative 5 Celsius or 23 Fahrenheit. Once I had these temperature ratings, I then sought the advice of my family doctor for how he suggested I keep my legs protected from hypothermia. His formula was for me to layer up using full leg length underwear, also known as long johns, fleece-based jogging pants for the warmth the fleece provides, and a windbreaker-based jogging pants to protect from the cold that the wind causes a person to feel. After I had this medical appointment, I thought about this more. I'm enduring the physiotherapy to improve my mobility. Both of my hips and knees are deteriorated. Often working my legs leaves my knees and hips feeling tight. I was concerned I would find it too difficult getting myself dressed with these layers after finishing in the pool and ready for bed after I arrived home. I decided to use the principle of layers he suggested, but instead I would find a way of covering my legs up that would be easier and more practical. Before I began using an electric wheelchair, I purchased a fixer-up home. The house wasn't insulated when I purchased it. Insulation traps air pockets. You could think of this as multiple layers of bubble wrap used to protect fragile shipments. So I wanted to create the same effect to protect my body from experiencing hypothermia. A local personal support worker gave me two really good ideas to research: a down-filled duvet or a sleeping bag. I know how to sew, and I could make this for myself. If I was to do so, I would use a combination of fleece and quilting fill, the same idea as the Amish community would use to make a warm blanket. And I would use extra wide Velcro for the edges. This would make it easiest to get it on and off. But this means taking on another project. I live with chronic pain. I'm already struggling to get done what is needed each day. I couldn't see myself getting into another project when it's already midwinter and the cold is already upon us. I needed a solution now, not 6 weeks from now. I made the decision that I would purchase a winter-rated sleeping bag. The next challenge was to shop for it. I'm 38 years old, and I'm not keen to be giving away my life and my independence. Even though I use an electric wheelchair, I'm committed to doing as much for myself as possible and as what is practical. I spent 3 hours researching online what winter-rated sleeping bags are available for sale in Canada. I don't always stay within the same country when I shop online, but for this particular purchase, I knew it would be bulky to ship. It would keep the cost down by buying something already in Canada. As I researched online, I was paying attention to the dimensions of the sleeping bag so it would fit my body, and its temperature rating to correspond with the research I had already completed. I've purchased a sleeping bag which is the same quality that could be used at an ice hotel in Quebec, Canada. The sleeping bag is rated for -28 Celsius or -18.4 Fahrenheit. It is a 2-in-1 sleeping bag. The 2-in-1 idea really appealed to me. I have the option to only wear one layer, but can use both layers during the extreme cold. The final step of this is having a contingency plan for if the electric wheelchair I drive breaks down while I'm transporting myself to or from the YMCA I use for the pool. In cold weather, an electric wheelchair battery doesn't perform as well. Vehicle batteries have a cold cranking amps rating. This is available power, but it reduces the available power. The same principle applies to an electric wheelchair. I found my electric wheelchair batteries lose 25% of its performance in cold weather. My electric wheelchair is rated for 23 kilometers or 14 miles. In cold weather, I wouldn't plan to drive more than 18 kilometers or 11 miles before recharging the electric wheelchair batteries. They have to work that much harder to transport me around town in the adverse weather. Know your electric wheelchair or scooter's limits, and then structure your days so you don't exceed this and find yourself stuck from no battery power. Electric wheelchairs can get stuck in snow just the same as cars. It takes much less snow for an electric wheelchair to become stuck. The rule of thumb I've learned by experience is, unless the sidewalk has been cleared and the cement is fully visible, my electric wheelchair will become stuck. I ride on the side of the road to prevent me from becoming stuck during the snow months from poorly plowed sidewalks. But by riding on the side of the road, I also take precaution to increase my visibility with lighting I've added to my electric wheelchair. And finally, I plan routes that keep me away from the busiest road traffic. I can't stress the importance of keeping several phone numbers with you for the event of an emergency. The mobility store which services your electric wheelchair, public transit for your community, wheelchair accessible taxi service, and the non-emergency police phone number. Additionally, it would be wise to have a cell phone, even if it's prepaid and only used for emergencies, a Mylar hypothermia blanket with you, and enough money with you to pay for a taxi to get you home in the event of a breakdown or emergency with your electric wheelchair. If you will spend another 2 minutes with me, I would like to share a lesson I've learned and would like to pass on to you. I want to encourage you to own your disability. By this I mean I want to encourage you to learn about it so you're able to figure out ways to overcome it and not have it hold you back from fulfilling your dreams and aspirations. You don't have to figure this all out by yourself. The role of your family doctor is to coordinate your health care and refer you to specialists depending on your personal needs. A dietitian may help you plan meals that prevent you from gaining weight. An occupational therapist is an excellent resource in helping figure creative ways to overcome physical limitations and helping you achieve the most independence possible. Nurses are helpful because of their experience gained being hands-on with their patients. Social workers may help you find strategies to manage stress and anxiety. The pharmacist may help you work out times to take your medication. Some medications, such as that for chronic pain, make you drowsy and affect your ability to operate a vehicle or engage in sex or masturbation. Internet-based groups provide support for day-to-day living. Neighbors are able to provide some practical help, such as grocery shopping, and family and friends are able to provide practical support and quality company face-to-face. I'm not going to pretend this was easy for me as I went through the deterioration of my ability to walk. It took having friends locally supporting me, a bunch of healthcare workers believing in me and investing in my life. I joined an online group for my disability who could understand what I was going through. I find healthy ways to cope with stress, like nature photography or poetry, and I have my faith in the Lord Jesus. I went through a period of grieving the loss of my mobility as I learned new strategies to live my life. And I had to learn a whole different lifestyle. It was pretty intense when I went through this period in my life. The most important is to go a day at a time so life doesn't become overwhelming. When you have a physical disability, it's very visible. People in the community are able to quickly identify someone who has mobility issues. People who have relationship, financial, or emotional issues are able to better conceal their challenges in life. When you have a physical disability, you have a very real opportunity to impact people you cross paths with and inspire them just by being yourself and facing your own set of challenges. I'd like to close by challenging you to live your life in a way that pleases God and inspires the people you encounter as you live your life. Thank you for this time that we spent together today. Bye for now.